Hello everyone and welcome to Game 3 in the series between FXO's LoWely versus Slivko here on Shakura's Plateau. We see Slivko spawning as the teal Zerg once more on the bottom right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, LoWely spawning on the bottom left hand side of the map as the yellow Zerg. Zerg versus Zerg. I'd be really surprised if they did decide to change their races. And we'll see what the strategies will be. Now, in a Zerg versus Zerg on Shakura's Plateau, I do expect a little bit more of a macro game. And normally, 1 or 2 spine crawlers on the ramp here is more than enough to handle a lot of the banelings that try to charge up the ramp later on. And then we should see perhaps a little bit of 2-base play. But then again, the players may try to be a little bit more aggressive and just try to run off of 1 base as well. Currently, drones just mining away. Not much to talk about in terms of strategy as of yet, as they're not really tipping their hand. Both of these players are going to scout each other in just a matter of seconds. We're going to see that Overlord shadow appear right over here in just a second. There you go. There's the shadow on that Overlord. The 2 Overlords are going to pass each other in the night. And perhaps we will then see the Overlords, after they park themselves here, make their way. And oh, what was that? LoWely, having 1 drone with 5 minerals in his mouth, decide to grow up and be a hatchery. Meanwhile, Slivko has not shown his hand as of yet. He is not going for a hatchery. There we go, finally moving out with this drone. I believe this drone will grow up to be a hatchery. A 15 hatch strategy here on Shakura's Plateau should be rather safe as long as Slivko quickly gets up a spawning pool, since his opponent already has his extractor up and will be getting up his spawning pool in just a matter of seconds. Now, we'll see what will come down next. We can see that the spawning pool is already down. The Overlord going to try to fly overhead. It's going to try to get as much information as possible. It's going to slowly start revealing. It knows that there are now drones on gas. And a second extractor, second extractor built and cancelled momentarily, as Slivko does see the spawning pool already completed. He does have to be a little concerned about this, as Zerglings are going to be making their way out, and the hatchery is nowhere near done. 4 Zerglings already on the move. They should be able to get there in about another 30 seconds or so. I haven't memorized all the running times across the maps as of yet. We'll see what's going to happen here as the Zerglings going to come into their opponent's base in about another 15 seconds and should be able to deal a fair amount of damage. The hatchery, though, is going to have a lot of hit points, and now it will be countered with the Zerglings and banelings of its own. It looks as though the Zerglings are going to get up there, and at about the right time that I approximated, as the Zerglings are now going to try to perhaps run in and hit the mineral line here. There is 1 spawning pool here, so the drones are going to be forced to pull away. Zerglings and drones trying to battle it out. The drones have to be very careful, though. 1 low hit point drone does pull away just in time. Zerglings continuing to fight, and wow, very, very dangerous play here as the Zerglings still trying to attack, and once more LoWely in a little bit of a dangerous situation, as the Zerglings are going to be able to poke across multiple Zerglings still, and LoWely even though he did get up that spawning pool a little bit faster, he is not going to be in that great of a position. The Zerglings are here ready to go. There is also 1 queen, 2 queens now sitting on the ramp. The Zerglings going to perhaps try to engage. We should see an injection as well on the hatcheries, but no, it looks like the queen's just going to sit at the ramp, make sure that no damage can be dealt, as we now see LoWely going into banelings. Zergling's going to try to test that front door. We'll see how many banelings are able to make their way through. The banelings could splash their way in across all those Zerglings there. 1 Zergling, or a lot of Zerglings getting taken out. The Zerglings, however, now stopped on the ramp as the spine crawler going to get canceled. The banelings looking to deal more damage, but Slivko does have banelings of his own hiding off over here. The 1 queen is dangerously low on hit points. A nice transfusion does get it up higher once more, and now another transfusion comes in. Banelings now trying to take their place, and this may actually work out. Banelings just trying to run into each other. Slivko loses his queen, and now it looks as though a new spine crawler going to be added. Banelings now still trying to be added here. Zerglings and banelings. It looks as though 1 baneling does sacrifice itself for 2 Zerglings on the ramp, and now we still see more and more units coming across the map at this point. Banelings are now down in position here. Zergling's going to look to make their way up the ramp. The Zerglings just dancing against perhaps 1 baneling cocoon. The baneling cocoon may get taken out. That 1 baneling could detonate, and no, the Zerglings were able to get by. The banelings detonating once more, and both sides losing a lot of their units. It is 15 to 13. There is one spine crawler, one queen on the ramp. That queen may get taken out. No, it looks like it does not, as still Zergling is trying to battle it up still, and Slivko needs to train up another queen, getting up another spine crawler here, and that should be enough to fend off any more attacks, but it doesn't look like LoWely wants to give up just quite yet. Zerglings now testing this, taking down 2 Zergling cocoons as they are morphing. One Baneling could have perhaps detonated across multiple Zerglings there, and Slivko getting a little bit lucky, or LoWely playing a little bit tired. It doesn't look like he's really playing up to snuff. His micro is not nearly as strong as it should be, as we now finally see a good Baneling detonation across multiple Zerglings there. Zergling is now looking to try to surround this Baneling cocoon. That Baneling cocoon is running away. That one Baneling gonna perhaps run over by the spine crawler. The spine crawlers would kill that Zergling in 2 shots, and now we do have a second queen. We still don't have a queen at this one particular hatchery, so FXO's LoWely and Slivko have about the same production. LoWely a little bit higher, as long as he constantly remembers to hit those injects, but it looks like the surplus energy shows that LoWely has been missing some of that timing as well. LoWely now finally expanding at about the 9-minute mark here. Both sides are now looking to drone a little bit further. You can see a bit of injection happening. Nope, a queen now trying to be trained. Currently supply blocked at 28 over 28. There comes the injects. More overlords need to be trained, and now Slivko, who had an economic advantage, is now behind 23 to 17. But right now Slivko does have the production advantage with 2 queens on 2 hatcheries. Zergling is now looking to push their way through once more. It doesn't look like it will be successful. And I take it back. 1 queen on 1 hatchery, 1 queen on defense. Slivko has yet to start injecting off of this hatchery just quite yet. So the production is about the same now, as we finally see drones being added. 26 drones versus 22. 6 more drones coming in from LoWely. LoWely getting a very strong economic lead now. And we'll see what's going to be transitioned into as we see some drones transferring to the low ground. A queen already here, ready to take care of this hatchery. The hatchery needs about another 5 seconds to go. All of the drones should perhaps just stay very, very close by. Nope, it looks like they will be returning up over here on the high ground, as we now finally see LoWely perhaps utilizing both of these. Actually, no, he only has 1 queen. So my apologies. He had transferred the queen over to perhaps snipe down an overlord. Now going to inject between these 2. He should perhaps also lay down a creep tumor and try to connect these, as Zerglings of LoWely now able to make their way in, only able to see the natural expansion here. Harvester 35 to 30. LoWely in a very good position now. He has the Harvester advantage. He has, I believe, the tech advantage. Yes, he has the tech advantage. He's going to be going into Mutilus and running off of 2 gas right now. He's not going to really be able to reach critical mass anytime soon. He needs to get down 2 more extractors to get this game really going. But Slivko does have a nice army advantage right now in terms of Zerglings and Banelings. If you take a look, there are Roaches also down, Zerglings and Banelings, and those Roaches may be able to charge up the ramp, but as soon as those 5 Mutalists come into play, Slivko is going to have a very difficult time, as those Roaches will just be trying to run away from those Mutalists, and the Mutalists just going to be able to get off free shots. The Roaches do not have movement speed upgrade, meaning that those Roaches are not going to be able to outrun those Mutalists or even try to keep pace with them, even on creep. As we're going to see the Mutalists in the air, we see that there are currently 5 of them. There is a fairly high amount of armor on those Roaches, and I'm pretty sure that LoWely knows about those Mutalists. In where they come, Roaches now making their way in. Banelings getting destroyed. 1 Baneling getting taken down. Another Baneling getting taken down. Roaches now trying to make their way in. And a lot of Banelings getting destroyed here. Drones now trying to make their way up the ramp. 1 Queen getting sniped down by those Roaches. There is 1 spine crawler here. 2 spine crawlers continuing to fight, as the Mutalists are now trying to fight back. The drones should turn around and do something except for absorb damage, as you can see that the drones were just sitting on the ramp for quite a while. These 6 Mutalists, will they be able to deal enough damage is the question. It looks like the hatchery will get taken down. The Mutalists are looking to perhaps finish off a lot of these Zerglings, as the Broodling's now going to join in on the fight. And Zerglings engaging against multiple units here. Another Roach will get taken down. And I completely underestimated the attack force of Slivko. Slivko's attack force more than enough to at least take down the natural expansion. LoWely does set up a ninja expansion here at the 10 o'clock location. You can see Slivko currently sitting on 34 drones compared to 31. And LoWely now with the army advantage with 6 Mutalisks. And we'll see how much damage he is able to do. Banelings now being added. Where are those Mutalisks? The Mutalisks are over here. 6 Mutalisks in the air. There is 1 Spore Crawler, and we are taking the tier 2 finally. Overlords are getting taken out. LoWely perhaps should be trying to hunt for more and more Overlords. And if he's able to hunt them down, perhaps slow down any true damage there, as Zergling's now trying to make their way in. Banelings busting their way through. Baneling's going to take down a lot of those Queens. The Queen's taking a lot of damage, but a lot of transfusions coming in. And Slivko somehow able to stay in this game, even though the Queens have taken a tremendous amount of damage there. 1 Queen now trying to run back, but it is right next to a Spore Crawler. And now there are only 3 Mutalisks left. Is it going to be enough as another Spore Crawler comes into play? Overlord looks like it will get shot down there. Zerglings are running around, taking down drones. It looks like this Overlord could get taken down. Another Overlord trying to make its way in, as the Mutalisks are now accidentally suiciding themselves into Spore Crawlers. LoWely in a bit of trouble. He cannot afford to lose so many units so needlessly, as the Zerglings are now trying to get back up onto the high ground and perhaps take down the main base. Zerglings now going to go ahead and go after some of the drones here, disrupt the mining harvester count. 31 to 34. LoWely is slightly ahead. Another drone may get taken out. There it goes, and now the Zerglings are going to be backing off. There is 1 Mutalisk still hanging around, and the key thing is that there are currently no Queens in play from Slivko, as we now also have another hatchery here, and this hatchery finally getting up and running. Zerglings trying to take down more drones. That is not going to be successful, and after 16 minutes, both sides sitting at about 55 supply, and this is not looking good for either parties. No one really having a clear advantage. LoWely does have the benefit of this expansion here at the 10 o'clock position. He really needs to start to get it saturated a bit more, perhaps hitting more injects in a more timely manner. Roach is finally coming in from LoWely. A Queen going to clean up some Zerglings off over here, but in comes the strong counterattack. Is it going to be enough? You see 1,000 resources versus 650 in terms of just minerals, as the Roaches are now simply able to make their way in. Drones now trying to get back up onto the high ground. The drones are slightly faster since those drones are going to be able to walk off of creep. The Roaches, on the other hand, still do not have Glio Reconstitution. Finally going to get that in. The Mutalisks moving very slowly and not really dealing that much damage. Mutalisks are better in mass number like this, as the Mutalisks now up to 8 may be able to perhaps take down a couple more Roaches. Roaches are starting to fall. 8 Mutalisks taking down the Roaches, cleaning up the counterattack. More Roaches will get taken down. I do not believe that these Roaches will get any serious damage, as the Zerglings once more back off. 40 drones compared to 45. LoWely has plenty of larvae off over here. Could perhaps try to get some more drones to saturate, or could try to get into some Hydralisks. Slivko actually the one going into Hydralisks. My apologies. More drones now being trained, and a new hatchery being established here. LoWely getting in a lot more drones, trying to saturate his bases, as drones are now being transferred off to the north. A little bit of a risky maneuver, but it will benefit, as there is essentially no more minerals left in the main base. Both sides now getting very, very low on minerals. LoWely now in a very, very dangerous position. Zerglings are going to find this ninja expansion over here at the 10 o'clock location, but the Mutalisks should be able to get over there in time. Drones now looking to come in. There is 1 Queen that is able to attack back. The drones are all on hold position, protecting that Queen. Very nice play, making sure that the Queen does not get sniped down. Roach is now finishing off some of those Zerglings, and the Mutalisks going to perhaps try to engage. In comes an army of Hydralisks, though the Hydralisks do not have the groove spines. Mutalisks now going after some Zerglings. Baneling does get taken out. Roach is now trying to make their way in. The Hydralisks are looking to deal a lot of damage, as the Hydralisks And so many Hydralisks able to one-shot a Mutalist if he is not careful. LoWely taking a lot of damage there. The Mutalists have to be careful as the Hydralisks are bringing up the rear. There are Banelings off over here, and the Banelings, if they are able to hit the Hydralisk, would be able to deal a terrible, terrible amount of damage. What's going to be happening as the Banelings and the Roaches are now going to try to engage? Banelings now trying to make their way in. Banelings going to hit some of those Hydralisks. Yes, do hit some, but doesn't hit enough. The Hydralisks and Roaches are now trying to do a little bit of a flank here. The Roaches are coming in from the low ground, but reinforcements coming in from Slivko. And Slivko, who is currently behind in terms of food, does have a larger army still, a significantly larger army, as the Hydralisk now going to try to clean up this third base that's been running for quite some time. Hydralisk and Roaches continuing to push in. LoWely is in trouble. He does not have anything to really defend here. Units are getting caught in transit, as well as Slivko going to take down some Roaches, and I believe Slivko is going to actually come out the victor here, as the army size of Slivko more than double in terms of gas and minerals, and the Hydralisks are just going up against drones, destroying them and taking them all out. It is now 2 bases to 2 bases essentially. The Hydralisks and the Roaches going to battle it out against some more units over here. Very low hit point Roaches and Hydralisks, but I believe Slivko is going to clean up this expansion. 40 drones compared to 28 drones now. And even though the main bases have been mined out, Slivko has yet to establish up a third. We are 22 minutes into this game, and no one has really done, or no one has really shown any sign of giving up, even though LoWely is behind in terms of food. Back over here, we can now see the Hydralisks and the Roaches trying to push their way in. Roaches are sitting on the top of the ramp, looking to deal a lot of damage. The Hydralisks are in the back as well, and here we go. The Roaches and Hydralisks battling it up. The Roaches taking a lot of damage in the front of the line there, but the Hydralisks in the back of the line, that high DPS able to focus, and with that, the late reinforcements not going to be enough. The Roaches now trying to run away. The Queen now in a bit of trouble, as the drones coming off the mineral line once more in order to try to salvage this game. The Roaches are firing at those drones. The Roaches also getting healed by Queens up on the high ground, and it looks like Slivko is going to win as LoWely does GG. So a nice, good back and forth Zerg versus Zerg mirror match here on Shakura's Plateau. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.